Hello again everybody, welcome back to LilyLuLou. If you're new here, my name is Karen, I'm the Junk Journal Geek, and if you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back and joining me today, and apologies for another big gap between the last video and this one. So I haven't done any crafting again for a long time. Life's gone a bit mad over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's about a week, or it might be more, since my last video, and I thought I'd come back and I'll do another Dephemerember, and I'm hoping this will be a nice, quick and easy way to get myself back into the swing of things. I seem to keep saying that, but it's just the way life is at the moment, so we have to roll with it, don't we? So we're on day 14 and the prompts are pattern and matchbook. If you haven't seen or heard of Dephemerember before, it was a collaboration hosted, not a collaboration, it was a challenge, I suppose you'd call it, hosted by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel, and I'll link their channels in the description below. And what it was is daily prompts all through December last year, and they also did it in 2021 for you to use, you know, to help stimulate ideas. And I started it in December. I think I started it in December both years actually, and failed, but I thought I'd just keep returning to it every now and then to get 2022 finished, so that I can at least say I've done it, even though I didn't do it in December. So I made a sheet of numbers, which if you have been before, you will have seen. If not, you will find these linked in the description below as a freebie. So if you would like them, head on over. It was numbers 1 to 25. And so today we're on day 14. So I'll cut it out in a minute when I've decided what we're doing. So it was pattern and a matchbook. So I thought I would just make a giant matchbook with one of these animals on the front, and as his portrait, he's sort of the right shape for a matchbook, and he's on his own there floating about. I thought I'd use him. I didn't think I'd use him, but I've just decided I'm going to use him. And if you're wondering, he's a partridge, and these sheets of animals were part of Dephemerember. They were created by Louisa Heinzel, and they were available on both her and Barbara's socials as a free download. So if you head over, you can get these. I'm not sure what everybody used for, or what Barbara and Louisa used for day 14, but I'm using Mr. Partridge. So how are you all? It seems absolutely ages since I was last here talking to you all. I'm not going to cut that out yet. I need to decide what I'm doing, don't I? This book is the book I've been using for Dephemerember. Again, if you haven't seen this before, I made this as it's completely made from Amazon packaging. So this is all different types of Amazon packaging paper, and this was one of the cover was one of Amazon's envelopes or something like that. So I'll try and remember to link that as well in the description. So if I'm making I was thinking a matchbook is normally sort of made of card, isn't it? So I just pulled this piece of card out of my box that I have next to me, but really it's got to be more than twice the height of this to make a matchbook, and this isn't. So do I have anything else that might be? Let me just have a rummage. And I thought if I used pattern card, that would be the pattern element, and if I made a matchbook, that's the other prompt, isn't it? So, and I just thought I'd do something different and make sort of a giant matchbook. Now I'm not as prepared as I thought I was, so I might have to pop you on pause to go and find, oh hang on, no, that's not big enough. I might have to go and find some cards. So right, just bear with me for a moment please. Right, I've pulled out of my card scraps folder some scraps of card that hopefully might work, so I've got something to choose from. That one isn't wide enough, so that can go straight out of the way. These are all about, yeah, about 12 inches, so it's just picking one that will work with this partridge. So let's see what we've got. These are scrapbooking papers. Can't tell you where from, I'm afraid. I can't remember. These ones I believe are Graphics 45 papers. Graphic 45. Do the butterflies go with the partridge? Mind you, does any of this go with the partridge, really? He could be sitting, that's got a little bit of green on it, so maybe the green would work, but it's not much of a pattern, although whichever way I do this, you're going to see both sides. So maybe the green would work, and it does have a pattern. I don't think the pink works. We could have music. Do partridges sing? I'm not actually sure. But do you remember the Partridge Family? They sang, didn't they? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I'm sure it was the Partridge Family. I could be showing my ignorance there. You can probably tell that it's not first thing in the morning for a change. My daughter is at uni. My middle daughter isn't home from work until tomorrow, and hubby has a barber's appointment today. I'm just deciding between these two. So I've got the house to myself, which is why I have jumped on quickly to try and do a little video with you all. So I'm not having to be quiet and whisper and sound really boring. I had to listen back to one of my videos the other day. I thought, I don't know how anybody is sitting through this listening to me, because I sound so bored. But it's because I was trying to be quiet. Because when I'm filming first thing in the morning, everybody's still in bed. I'm just looking at what sort of colours I've used throughout this, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. And I have used pink and green here, so I've just got to decide which of these I think will work best. I think I'm going to go for the green because it's a bit, you know, a bit brighter and more cheerful. So this little partridge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a quarter-ish tall. So if I fold that at about the same, then we can have this little bit flapping up at the bottom. So I'm going to try and do this without shaking you all, and take this edge off here. I've had to stand up, so I'm sorry if I'm shouting at you now. I've got that now, are we? Yeah, it's still wide enough, so that's okay. Oops. So let's score. Now we need to decide which way round we're going to have it. We're not going to see an awful lot of that. So if we have the pattern on the inside, I think. So I think I'll score this at 5.5 and see how it looks. I'm holding my arm up to try and not make a noise. I was going to get me. I should have done that the other way around, really, shouldn't I? I'm having that on the inside. hold that there. We haven't got much of a bottom here, but let's see if it will work. I have to do it on the same size, won't I? No, I won't. I can do it that way. Now, might have to snip a tiny bit off of that inside of the top flap so that it fits nicely under there. So there's our matchbook base. That was quite easy. So I'm going to pop Mr. Partridge on there. Oh, now I wonder if I could take the bottom bit off and stick that on this flappy bit. That might look quite nice. Can I manage to do that? Right, how big is this flap? Just over an inch. So let's get the chompy chopper back in. Let's take this edge off. And take this edge off and then see. Let's do that edge as well. I'm sorry if you can hear the traffic outside. I've got the front window and the back door open because it's a lovely day, and I'm hoping that will keep Max quiet. Max, no, sorry, Max is digging in the garden, I just noticed. Right, I want that to be about an inch, but it does mean you can hear the traffic, and there was just a big rumble where obviously a huge lorry has just gone past. So I apologise if you can hear that in the background. So I want my corner rounder. And let's take a little bit off these corners. Yes, I don't really have anything exciting to report. Both my grandsons have been poorly. They both ended up in hospital over the last, is it a week or 2 weeks? I don't even know where we are. Why isn't that? Oh, I know, because I haven't got a piece of paper behind it and it's too flimsy. Just wondered why this wasn't chomping the corners properly. Yeah, so the whole family, well, actually my daughter got away with it, so it wasn't the whole family, but the rest of them all had a sickness bug, and my youngest grandson was very poorly with it. I can't make this round properly, and ended up in hospital. My middle grandson was quite bad with it, but he ended up in hospital for a different reason, because he decided that he was going to eat some money and be a piggy bank. So he swiped a coin while my daughter had her back turned. Literally, he's so fast, you can't believe it. And she turned round and caught him gagging, and so she thought he was going to be sick. And she said, "You're going to be sick, baby?" And he said, "No, I've got money in my tummy now. I'm a piggy bank." And he'd swallowed a 20p piece. So off they went to hospital, and luckily the doctors and nurses were amazed at his constitution. Bearing in mind this is the little boy that almost died at 10 days old. He's had sepsis twice, He's got a suppressed immune system and has had to be on antibiotics all his life since he was 10 days old. They couldn't believe that his system was so strong that this coin had made its way through to his stomach before they'd even managed to do any sort of x-ray or scan or anything. So they gave him a chance to pass it naturally, which he did, poor little thing. But yeah, we've had a little bit of excitement in our family with all that going on. I'm trying to find some more paper to put behind these because this really doesn't want to chomp at all. This one needs, oh, I'll stick with the little one, I think. Now I can't get it in because there's too many layers. So yeah, that was exciting. Then on Sunday, it was the local 10k run, which my future son-in-law always runs with his dad and brother. So we all went to watch that, which was lovely. The weather was nice. And then we took my mum out to lunch afterwards. So yeah, it's been a busy time. And I've had, my youngest daughter has had a friend staying for the last few days. So we've been busy here, and it's just meant that I've just, you know, lost time to be able to sit and play with all my craft bits. I have got my Cricut out of the garage. I don't know if I mentioned that before. My eldest daughter is getting married next year, and I have a Cricut machine which my lovely hubby bought me. It's probably 3 years ago now. And I have had to play with it before we moved, but since we moved, because I don't have anywhere to set it up, it's been in the garage for over a year. But my daughter wants me to make all the bits and pieces for her wedding, you know, the invitations and table decorations and place settings and, you know, all that lovely stuff. Just wondering if that needs a little bit more off of it. I think it does. So I've got my machine out, and then I was really scared that it was going to it was not going to work. I'm not going to be able to do that because that's too small. I was really scared that because it had been in the garage so long, not that the garage is, it's all fairly dry up there, and I don't know, I just had a scary feeling that it wasn't going to work anymore. So it's been sitting in the house for a few weeks because I've been frightened to try it. But I did try it, plugged it all in, switched it all on, and it's all working. But now I've got to remember what to do. So, and my daughter's having a little, I can't really say actually because it's going to be a surprise, and I don't know who's watching this. Most of my family don't watch this, but at least one does, so I can't really say too much. But yeah, I've got to start making some things ready for a couple of months' time. So I really need to get my head around what I'm doing with this Cricut machine and how it all works. And I have made things with it, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like when you're not doing something all the time, it's like crafting, you know, doing your junk journals, isn't it? you have a break from doing it and you sit down with all your bits and you look at it and you think, what on earth am I doing? And I feel a bit like that at the moment. I feel a bit overwhelmed and don't really know where to start. So I think I'm going to buy myself a 6-week course that Hobbycraft do, because they also give you, if you become a member of Hobbycraft, I can't remember, it's Cut and Create, something like that. They have this Cut and Create club, and if you join that, you get discount off of courses, and you also get discount off of things you buy at Hobbycraft for the year. And I'm thinking over the next year, if my daughter gets married next July, over the next year, if I'm making all these things, I'm going to probably be buying quite a lot of stuff at Hobbycraft. Maybe not, you know, I might find them better deal elsewhere, but I'm thinking it might be worth doing that. And then if I do this 6-week course, they give you a voucher for so much towards courses, and then discounts, I think, as well. Can't remember exactly what it was now, but it did look like quite a good deal when I was looking at it. So I might do that, but I'm not sure when to do this 6 weeks course, because we were hoping to go away, and it's a proper, you know, you log on at that particular time and do the course. It's not one of those that you can sort of sit down and do online whenever you feel like it. So I don't want to pay for the course and then miss one of the sessions because we're away. So I'm umming and ahhing at the moment about that. But that's going to be exciting, because even whether I do the course or not, just by virtue of the fact that I'm going to be making things with my Cricut, means I'm going to be learning how to use it. And I know that you can use it for fussy cutting. You know, if you buy kits that have got elements that need fussy cutting, I know you can use your machine to do that. So that would be quite good. Right, so that's that. Now I can't remember how we normally, I've got a feeling if I put a little staple there, that will hold that down enough to hold this in, won't it? And then obviously I need something inside, because that's a bit boring. I've done this the wrong way round, haven't I? Because I wasn't paying attention. I'm chatting away and I've stuck all this onto the bit that I was supposed to have on the inside, because it's the pattern, so that when you opened it you saw the pattern. I mean, this is patterned as well, but oh well, we have to live with it now. It's too late. So I don't want to, oh hang on, I might have to chop a little bit off there again, mightn't I, if I'm going to put a what am I doing? Putting a staple in the bottom to hold that closed. I will need to take a little bit off of the bottom there, otherwise it won't tuck in. So I'm just eyeballing this. It's roughly in the middle, and it's just above the edge there, so that when that tucks in, this doesn't flap down. So then I need to take another little bit off of this edge. See what I mean about being rusty? There we go. And I'm going to ink all around this because I forgot to do it. And I'm not sure yet if I'm going to stick this in or if I'm going to have it as a loose piece. I think I'll have it loose. I'll have to go through and make, oh hang on, no I don't want to round the, do I want to round the corners? I might round the corners on this front bit actually. No, I won't. I'm going to have to make lots of pockets because I keep making all this ephemera to go in here, and I've not made the pockets to put the ephemera in. I mean, I have made some pockets, but I do need to make more for everything to go in. So Might do that at the end when I've made everything, and make, you know, go through the book and make sure everything's got a home that needs a home. So, are we done there? I think we are. Just have a little bit along there. So now I need to put my number on and decide what we're going to use this for. It was number 14 we're on, isn't it? This has probably still taken me longer than it should have done, but at least it's not been as long as some of my efforts. I'm trying to leave this attached to this number 19. It's hanging on for dear life, but I don't want to lose it. Right. So if any of you out there are Cricut users and you have any tips and tricks for me that are going to come in handy, let me know. Or if you know of any other you know, courses that would be good that you can recommend, I'd be happy to hear your recommendations. Shall I put that on there? If I put it there, what are you going to see when that's tucked in? Right, we could have that there. Or we could have it in here somewhere. What we're going to have inside here, are we just going to keep it to tuck things in, or what? I don't know. I'm just looking around to see if I've got any odd bits of paper that I could make a little notebook from to go in here. If I stick that there, I'm covering up all that green, aren't I? Right. You know what would be good? Some packaging paper, because then it will match the rest of the book. Just hang on a sec, please. Right, I've grabbed a little pile of packaging paper. So let's make a little notebook and pop it in here. And then I think I'll stick that 14 on the front of the notebook. So that's still too wide. How wide did we say this was? 1, 2, 3 3/4. So don't want this any bigger than 3 1/2. Where's my ruler? Let's straighten that up a bit. 1, 2, 3 1/2. How does that look? That's about the right width. So let's get both of those. And these are not going to be straight, you know, this packaging paper is never cut square. But it adds to the character, doesn't it? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. See the top of that now, so it's not going to be particularly straight, but never mind. I could just use this, couldn't I, as a template. I'm going this way around because I've got my camera stand the other side. I'm trying not to knock it. But it's sort of the wrong way round for me, really. Do it that way, Karen. Well, hopefully once hubby's back at work, this will be my normal situation, making videos. Max has been quiet, he's been a good boy. He's out in the garden. So, I wonder if these will be too long now. I can, you know, get back to filming at a reasonable time instead of at the crack of dawn, and won't have to deal with Max pestering me while I'm talking to you all, thinking that I'm on the phone to somebody and he's missing out on some action. Right, is that going to be enough in there? Let's alternate these. Oh, I should have folded these in different places and made them a little waterfall. Oh, I probably can do that because the long ones are too long. So, let's keep the back one fairly long. And we've got that one, and if we go up a little bit with that one, and just to add a little bit more interest. Probably not going to be quite big enough for the member now, but that's okay. So they're going to go in there. I wonder if I can staple these. Oh, it's going to bend the card too much. Right, so I'm going to have to stitch those in. Just go on there. Right, just bear with me while I stitch those in. I'll be back again in a sec. Right, so they're all in now, so let's just give this a bit of a burnish. Chop these off. By stitching these in, I've perforated the paper, so as this booklet is used, you could actually tear off each sheet if you wanted to, leave that one like that because that's always going to stay in the back. So that's all. It's a bit wonky down the edges. Let's tear some of these side bits off. I always go wonky when I'm stitching. Can't tear these now, it's too many at once. Probably don't need to see me struggling to do this, do you? But it's the sort of thing that you might wonder about if you're new, you know. How do you sort that out when you make that mistake? Well, there's probably lots of much simpler ways of doing it, but this is what I'm doing. I don't mind that it's all raggedy, which is just as well. Right, that's that, and then try not to do my usual trick of losing the number. Should we pop that on there, or should we pop it up there? I'm going to pop it up there, then we can still write on here or stick something else on if we want to at some point. Well, I say I'm going to stick it on, but obviously my glue's gone walkabout now. There it is. Goodness me, I do get myself in a pickle sometimes. I'm going to pop that up there. See, we've got a pattern on the number as well. So I know that's a very simple one today, but that's all I could cope with. I even managed to make a meal of that, didn't I? And that tucks in there. That's our matchbook with a pattern. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully I'll be back again before not quite so long next time, but I can't promise anything at the moment. Thank you for joining me. Take care. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your own crafty time in the meantime. Bye-bye.